Hey friends, how are you? Shanna Tokarski here. I have an important message to share with you, and I want to be really transparent to share with you how this has impacted my life. I'm just going to tell you right now, I've never shared this on live video. Probably not a lot of people know this about me, and so I want to share with you though to illustrate the importance of your words, okay? And of what you speak over other people in your life. Even if they're not there to hear the words that you're speaking, your words have power. Your words have the power of life and death. So I hope that you guys know that. I don't know if you know that or not, but I want to share my personal experience and why I'm so convicted in why this works and what it's done and what I had to walk through to break some words that were spoken over me when I was younger. Okay? So here we go. When I was in 8th grade, words were spoken over me that were not words of life. I don't know if they were words of death, but they weren't positive words, okay? So a teacher of mine said to one of my best friends that they shouldn't hang out with me because I was a bad influence, that I was bringing her down and some other things. And my friend was just joking around when she told me, but she told me those things, and internally, those words shook my core. And in 8th grade, you don't really know who you are. You're struggling anyway. That's a weird time. And so those words became part of who I was. And because I believed internally that there was something wrong with me, that there was something bad, I started making choices that reflected that belief, okay? And so in 8th grade, I was actually arrested for trafficking drugs. And they arrested me in front of the whole school, and they brought us out. And I just remember thinking, like, while that was all happening, I wasn't scared of my parents. I wasn't scared of what was going to happen to me. All I remember thinking was, this is what happens to bad kids. And this is why this is happening to me. Because I believed in my core that those words that one teacher spoke over me was who I was. And I'd like to tell you that after that happened, that was a big deal. All the parents in our district got newsletters or letters sent to them saying who it was and what happened. A lot of my friends weren't allowed to hang out with me anymore. I was grounded for a long time. There was a lot of consequences, obviously, for that behavior. But as I grew up and as I walked through it, then everybody, after that one incident, you get arrested in 8th grade and people talk. I live in a very small town. Even though that was the very first time I ever saw or touched drugs, that is who I became. And so as people thought that that's who I was, as they treated me like that's who I was, and as my internal dialogue and what I said about myself is who I was, I walked out the next 10 years living in those lies and those beliefs that that's who I was created to be. And I wish that I wish I could tell you that it was, easy or that it was, but every decision I made came back to that belief about who I was and what I was doing, okay? So until I found somebody, and here's the kicker, guys. So I got saved, and thank you, Jesus, came to find me and saved me it was about 10 years ago now. But I heard then words of life spoken over me, that I was a champion, that I was created for more, that I was put on this earth to make an impact, that I had a mission, and that I was good. And that I could do good things, and that I could do impossible things, and that all these good things that I haven't heard before, or maybe I did hear it, but it was buried underneath all of that stuff, right? And so I have worked for the last 10 years to surround myself, number one, with people who treat me the way that I see myself now. Number two, to be surrounded by words of affirmations. You guys, I say words of affirmations every single day when I wake up. I say them out loud to myself because it's important on how you talk to yourself. Okay? So I say things like, you are a champion. You are an incredible leader. You do make a difference. You attract money easily. I say things like that. And if you watch my money video, I talked about that. But it's important. Your words matter. And even more so, the words that you speak, if you are a wife, the words that you speak over your husband. Women, what do we say about our husbands? Not even when they're there, but when they're not there, what are the words that are coming out of our mouth? See, that teacher she wasn't with me when she said those words, but it got back to me. And so it mattered. And so what are you saying as a wife? What are you saying about your husband? What are you saying about your parents? What are you saying about your kids? You know, it almost breaks my heart when I see parents. I know I have 2 small children, okay? So please don't send me emails about how I don't understand. I know how they can drive you nuts. I know how they can push every single button that you didn't even know you had. But what are we saying? It breaks my heart when we put things out there on Facebook like, my kids are driving me crazy. I can't wait for them to go back to school. What if your kids saw that? You know? What if? And so my wish for you, and me sharing this story and being really transparent about it, is that we would focus on the words that come out of our mouth, that we would take more care of them, that we would really think before we speak, because once they're out, they can no longer get put back in. And we talked about this. I did a running group, and we talked about toothpaste. You know, if you squeezed out toothpaste, you can't put it back in the tube. And that is our words. And then once you understand how important and how much of an impact your words can have, then we got to think about what we say, right? That is a huge responsibility as adults, as people that live in this world with other people, that the words that we're speaking, that we would use them for good, you know? That we would use them to help other people, not hurt people. That saying, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words may never hurt me, that's a lie. That is flat out lie. Because that one statement by that one teacher almost destroyed my life, okay? So be careful with your words, friends. And I hope that by me sharing that, you can understand the impact that they could have on one person, because it's the flip side too. You know, you never know when one word of encouragement that you say to someone, just, hey, you look pretty today, or hey, I love the way that your hair is, or hey, I love how you always care about people, or hey, you know, you're a champion. I saw you fighting for that. You never know what those words will do for others. Okay? You never know what one word of encouragement could do for somebody else's life. So I hope that encourages you. I do these videos so that you can hear a voice of positivity, a voice of somebody who has walked through life and come out the other side. You know, I've not arrived, but from where I was and where I'm going, it's so different, so black and white, you guys. So I hope that helps you on your journey, and I hope that you examine the words that are coming out of your mouth, that you just don't live and assume that all these things are happening to you and the people around you, that maybe you examine what you are physically saying, okay? All right, so I hope that helps you. God bless you guys, and we'll talk soon. Bye-bye.